He was really good at listening. And I mean, he's a Pisces, right? So of course he's going to be there.
I fell in love with My Psychiatrist, opinion from someone with a diagnosed personality disorder as well as ADHD, and it could not have been the 12 years of medical school. It was certainly that he is a Pisces. Keep in mind, today part 1 is important because there are some dynamics that I explained that I would like you to keep in your mind as we go through this, because I don't necessarily agree with the internet's take on this one, and I just kind of wanted to talk about why. But that's your decision to make, and none of us are qualified, including myself, to decide what this is. Plus, these dynamics are so complicated, it could be 700 different things. Last I left you, we were talking about her accidental information slips, which were not accidental. She wanted you to find this guy. We'll talk about it a little more in a second. But she mentions his name, where he practices, how long, and she's mentioned his name several times now. It's not just the one video, it's several times. Then she mentions his racial identity, and that goes into a whole place where
Did accidentally use his first name, but by the time I caught the slip, I was already like 3 videos past it. But it doesn't matter.
I can delete a video from 4 years ago, so I think 3 videos back we could definitely take that down. However, amidst all of the please don't look him up, please don't post him, all of that,
If you do some investigative work and you want to DM me about it, I'm open to that.
another one where I saw calculation, don't put that on the internet, but it's fine if you look it up and then go ahead and send me a DM. We're gonna have a little chitty chat about it. There's so much manipulation here. I want to add this in. Just don't let your empathy be your undoing. Trust me on this one, okay? Because she's telling you not to do it, but message her about it. She wants you to do it, and she wanted this guy's identity out there. This is the point when the subject of her next series, I promise you that, starts about her 75-year-old therapist who is also, you guessed it, just incredibly obsessed with her.
I would tell the therapist how obsessed I was with my psychiatrist, and she didn't do anything about it. She just was interested. She also loved stories about my dating life, and yeah, she also was getting supply from me in her own way, but that's for another part.
So you're kind of starting to see where I'm coming from. You've got all these similar problems, but there's really only one constant. And so what we're saying is the 75-year-old woman who you're paying to talk to about your life, including your dating life, which she goes into that, and that's a whole lot of a lot comparing the psych to the boyfriend, but the therapist is actually the one who you're supposed to be talking to about that, and she did do something. She was talking through it with you, and that's what you do in talk. Another notable one about the therapist was when she decided to stop seeing her. She's like, oh, I don't need this anymore. You're feeding off of me. You're taking advantage of me, this sort of thing, and walks out, then gets an email from this woman, which is a very standard thing. This is the email, and it basically reads that I was surprised that our sessions are ending, but I would like to have one more session with you for closure so we can make sure we're wrapping this up right and you're going out into the world kind of the best way that you can. It's a pretty standard thing. I've had that happen, but no, she is obsessed. I saw some comments yesterday that were interesting about the therapist. Everyone was like, okay, so I get the psych, that was wrong, but the therapist, she was texting her, telling her, I want to hang out. I want to be your friend. I wish I was as good at this as you are. You're such a great life coach and all of that stuff, right? So first of all, if you're taking anything that this woman says at face value, you have not been listening. Okay. And the other side of that, there are a couple options as to why you haven't seen those yet, because if they made her look good, I promise you would have already seen them. 1, it never happened, or 2, whatever text messages were exchanged make her look bad. With the change in demeanor, everything that's going on, this is rapidly devolving into a dangerous situation. Rapidly devolving, what am I talking about? It feels dangerous already.
He said, I prefer turtle shell glasses. So even though I usually wear contacts, I'm wearing these turtle shell glasses in these videos because just in case he sees them ever, he'll see me in his favorite glasses. He did tell me he likes the turtleshell.
The tortoiseshell glasses, now somebody did pull up his picture and he wears tortoiseshell glasses, very, very surface, but when you maybe have a little overinflated, you got something going on, you're gonna inflate that into what she did, not to mention the fact that she's saying, well, I'm making these videos for this, I'm doing this for the people who need me to speak out for them because nobody's ever spoken out about this before. That is another communal issues. Anyway, then why are you wearing the glasses for him? Quick mention of communal narcissism. I want to talk to you about this because people are not widely aware of this. Now, while not a formal diagnosis, this is considered a sub-part of it, and it is people who believe they are the only one who can solve the problem that they're talking about. They are that important that they should be at the lead of this movement, that they are saying things that nobody has ever said before. They can fix all of it, And they usually have followers, which this woman is accruing, that will further that ideal. And if you say anything, or you're like, hey, this doesn't really seem like it's for the cause, or your videos are actively hurting the community that you're saying you're trying to help, they don't care because they know better than everybody else. Just wanted to mention that. And this next one, the situation, because in the discussion about the tortoiseshell glasses, she had actually gone to a session day after being in a serious accident.
I look back at that time and I'm just like, oh my God, I put my own life under seeing him. I was fully addicted to him at this point. And you know what happened is that I showed up and I told him that I may be internally bleeding, and he didn't stop the appointment. He didn't say, you need to take care of yourself, go get emergency care now. He let me continue and just tell him about how much I loved him.
Keep in mind, this is an opinion from someone who might be on a little different side of the fence than a lot of people who are looking at this. However, I have, and I'm so not proud of this, used similar situations where I put myself in danger to make other people feel bad. And healing, I was able to admit that I had been manipulative, and that was really hard to admit, but that is what that sounds like to me. That's the other thing I saw here about accountability, considering I have been in positions where I didn't behave the best. It is so deeply and soul-crushingly embarrassing that I behave that way, because I truly take accountability for what I did. I don't see that here. Now, keep in mind, this comment is not universally true, especially if you have someone who is genuinely making it to where you can't go to the doctor, you can't do stuff like that. However, that's not what's happening here. And so if that accident did happen and she was injured, she went in there actively looking for that sympathy and trying to elicit an emotional reaction rather than taking care of herself. If she was as healed as she's claiming to be, or healed enough to be a friggin' life coach, she would know that. There's a lot of stuff. Like I said, all of these dynamics are insanely complicated. Now, this is a wild one. More stuff happened last night. That's why in some of these clips I'm dressed completely different. So I do have to make a part 3 where we're going to talk about boundaries and how she does not understand what those are at all, and the fact that ChatGPT is like, oh no, that was a previous version of me. I would never.